Hello world, hello Facebook, hello all those watching this on listenvisionlive.com. It's the Nitty Gritty Show. It's your boy Jay DeCosta.
It's your girl Katniss.
And together we are the Nitty Gritty.
It's Tim Wise. You're watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
Everybody, this is Stevie Powell. You're now watching the Nitty Gritty Show. Check it out.
And so I'm DeCosta and you need to watch the Nitty Gritty Show.
My name is Sherman Moss, and you're watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
That's the Grant Thompson, a.k.a. G. Ainsworth, and you're watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
I'm Anthony White, and this is the Nitty Gritty Show.
Yeah. Bam, it's Jay Thompson. You're watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
You are watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
My name is Jay Grant Thompson, and guess what? You're in tune to the Nitty Gritty Show.
I'm Will Jawando, and you're watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
And my name is Mitch Holmes, and you're watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
And my name is Xavier Stukes and you're watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
This is Pastor Rob, and you're on the Nitty Gritty Show.
I'm Ray Pittman, and you're watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
Hey, this is Joni Ford of Ford Wilderness, and you're watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Benny Black, and you are watching the Nitty Gritty Show.
It's time for the Nitty Gritty. Conversations get real live. It's time for the Nitty Gritty. The revolution's not televised. It's time for the Nitty Gritty. Reaching out to your conscious mind. It's time for the Nitty Gritty. More than talking, you taking action. It's time for the Nitty.
Yo, what's going on world? What's going on Facebook? Everybody catching this live on listenvisionlive.com. It's your boy Jay DeCosta.
It's your girl Katniss.
And together we are the
The
Nitty
Nitty
Gritty.
Gritty.
Look, got an exciting show today. We're going to be talking about how sports can save lives, amongst some other things. Have an amazing guest on here with us today, Xavier Stukes. He is now the owner of the Baltimore Rams and runs that program now out of Baltimore. You've been there for a couple of years now, right?
Yes. The program's been back in existence for the last 4 years.
Nice, yeah. So I'm excited about that, and then also you've been able to branch out and do the Baltimore Rams Military and EMS Academy.
Yes.
So we're excited to talk about those things. We got a lot of things we've been wanting to talk about sports on this show, especially around just football, especially. So we're gonna be happy to get into that conversation. But before we get there, on the Nitty Gritty Show, we got to give out these to hell with, and we got to give out these blessings. So. First one is almost obvious probably, but got to give it to Florida Senate moving forward with their plans to arm teachers despite everything going on. And then they wanted to double down on ignorance, and they also rejected the assault on the weapons, on automatic weapons. So that's crazy to me. Now, this is going to be known as the Marjorie Stoneman High School Public Safety Act. The legislation will be accompanied by an unprecedented infusion of cash into the school system to address mental health issues. The $400 million package includes $18.3 million for mobile crisis teams working with the Department of Children and Families in the schools, $500,000 for mental health and first aid training, and $69 million for mental health assistance to school districts. And to me, it's amazing how Florida can do this for the mentally ill, or the country can come up in arms about the opioid epidemic, but we can't seem to logic and correct in the systematic issues that have led to the crack epidemic or violence in the hood, but you mad at Black Lives Matter t-shirts. So got to give it to hell with that. And also, in correlation to that, all of that, why are we always asking for black fathers? In times of crisis surrounding urban communities, but when mentally ill kids, once again, white kids, shoot up schools, there is no call for white fathers. No one's like, where are the white fathers at? I can't believe they did that. When white people, when they tore up Philly and them white boys was out there destroying stuff, no one said, where's their fathers at?
Or no one even labeled them thugs or looters. Because when they did the same thing in Baltimore, they were like,
crazy time.
Those are some thugs out there. Those are some looters.
They were thugs when they were fighting for their rights, but they're just having a good time, good fun. But I guess you don't call for the white fathers because they were right there next to their sons tearing up the city. Yeah, but I ain't gonna go into that. But you know what? The answer is pretty simple. We live in a society that's created laws that are designed to lock up black and brown men, and because of our American iconology, support of the white privilege, and therefore no one ever considers a white father doing enough because we have been preconditioned to believe that white is right. But you're going to learn today because it's a Nitty Gritty show. So had to give a tail whiff to that. And then also got to give blessings to, because we always end on a positive note, blessings to Jay-Z, top wealthiest rappers list this year. He actually finally beat out Diddy.
He did?
Yeah, $910 million. Yep.
What took him over?
Just his various investments in his Armadale, not Armadale, but the cognac, the Ace of Spades, what people call it.
I wonder if Diddy feels some kind of way.
No, I mean they're excited about it. You
That's
know,
good.
like they support each other. It's not like a competition thing. So Diddy's still number 2, still making the rise. Dre's still making rises. And the cool thing about it, and this is where they all get credit, they're not only the wealthiest American rappers, but they're also the wealthiest American artists of any genre. The 3 of them.
Wow.
So, you know, like that's more so than rock, more so than country, because everybody says all the money's in country. But I beg to differ that the 3 top in the list all came from hip hop. So that says something, that there's a lot of money and equity in what we're doing. Everybody wants to use it. It is pop music. You know, almost sound like
And they're close to being a billionaire.
Yeah, they're close to being. They're going to probably hit that next year for sure. Yeah, without a doubt. And then also got to give a blessings to the Golden State Warriors skipping their White House visit and taking students to the African American Museum instead.
Yep.
I thought that was really dope. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors for that. Outside of that, you know, action, I'm still saying go Cavs when it comes to the NBA. But I like it when people of color especially will use whatever platform they have. You know, they're not going to shut up and dribble, as some would say we should do. And they're going to use their platform not only to say, hey, look, you know, we're not rocking with Trump, but then we're going to take that time to do something even better. And they took some young people out to the African American Museum, which is an amazing museum. If you haven't been, please go. So, you know, shout out to that. But we don't want to delay anymore. We want to get down to the nitty gritty. We're about to start this conversation with Mr. Xavier here. But we have a quick video. Your team, they're playing. It's the Baltimore Rams playing the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Wesley Chiefs.
The Wesley Chiefs for Virginia. So, yeah, so we're going to play some clips of that, and then we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. So we got some clips of the game there. Them boys was hitting too, man. Like they was doing their thing out there. So you know, first of all, I just want to start off asking the question because I like the fact that when Kat first told me about what you were doing, that your focus is on young men who have been maybe in and out the prison system or incarcerated or maybe the juvenile delinquency system, and then also focusing also on young men who are just underprivileged. Maybe they don't have programs available to them to play and giving them this outlet. I was like, yeah, we got to have him on because his focus and his outreach is right up our lane as far as what the nitty gritty is about. So, what made you get into it? I mean, I know that the program has been around for a while, but what made you say, hey, I want to take this on and I want to create this particular focus?
Well, actually, what made me take it on was my own personal history. I didn't come up on the good side of the tracks myself.
Got it.
And throughout the different coaching staff, once I found something that I could do and I could do it well, I had grown men to sit down and talk to me and kind of lead me and guide me in the right direction. And they changed my life. They changed my life forever. So what I want to do, I want to pass on what these men gave to me. Mm-hmm. And that's how we should do as men. We need to pass on to the younger generations what we give that's positive. You know what I'm saying? When you get it and receive it, you can give it out. And that's my whole focus on what I'm doing with these young men here.
That's awesome because, and a lot of us, we talk about this a lot. It comes up in various conversations, but, you definitely have to reach back. When you've been blessed with a lot, you got to be able to pass it forward and bless others. That's how, the things that we're striving to do in our community grow and have further reach. Too many people are selfish. I mean, even when you think about things like as simple as life insurance. Nobody wants to do it because you don't get the ball out on life insurance. It only comes out when you die.
Exactly.
But it's not about you. It's about what you leave behind.
Exactly.
So I'm happy that you're pouring that out. As far as working with these young men, what have you seen structure-wise that, has been big factors of change with them and using, the apparatus of football or, football to help do that?
Well, some of the bigger things that I've seen is, my cats, they're not going to jail no more. they putting down the guns somewhat. They still have to live in an environment in which they have to protect and defend themselves and defend their families, you know. And I try to continue to instill in them that once you begin to live your life right and live your life righteously, then the Most High will protect you. You ain't got to worry about having somebody run up on you with a gun. You know, it makes you think, it makes you become a smarter individual. And those are things that are constantly pounding in their heads. You know, yeah, I still have some guys who they want to smoke weed, you know, but I'm thinking there's some worse things they could be doing than smoking weed, you know. But, you know, they're trying to take care of their families. They trying to get jobs. Some of them have criminal histories and criminal records where they can't get jobs right now. And it's very stressful on them. And you'll see it in the play that some of them, they take it out on the field. And I mean, they take it out. You don't know why you got hit that hard. But that brother just, you know, he just lost his girl. So, you know, he takes it out on the field. And that's the platform you need, you know, because literally I could kill you on the field and I ain't got to worry about a prison sentence.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, but it's all done in a good manner and good faith, man. You know, and we just try to keep them on a positive and straight and narrow. Some guys fall to the wayside, but for the most part, you know, I have a good structure, a lot of good young men. They want to do something real good, real positive.
That's good. Okay.
Now, for the listeners, what is the age range of these young men?
The age range is from 18 to, how old was my oldest player? I think he was 46 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So from the ages of 18 to how old you feel like your body can hold up.
Gotcha.
I mean, I had to strap up a couple of seasons ago myself, and I'm almost 50. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Because I'm not going to send my men into combat and not be there at war.
Oh, wow.
They ain't going into combat by themselves.
Shoot, man, I hope at 40 I can. Well, I don't play football at all, but
Hey,
man,
man,
the idea that I could go out there.
I was 48, and I told him, I sat on the sideline, I said, hey, man, look, I got one play in me, and I'm going to make this play count. And boy, I tell you, when I peeled back on this joker, I slow walked him down, boy. But needless to say, he didn't finish the rest of the season. But
oh wow,
you know, I'm not gonna send him in something. Don't do something that I wouldn't do myself.
That's cool.
And I think I gained some good points because you know, then the brothers looked at me. They was like, you know, hey man, if the coach can strap up and go out here and do this, then guess what? We can do what we need to do as young men. You know, it's all about continue to demonstrate the positivity. That's what you got to do as a man. You got to continue to demonstrate and show them.
I like that.
Now, is this a traveling team? And if yes, how do you guys provide the finances for the traveling?
Well, pretty much the finances come out of my pocket.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because like I said, a lot of guys don't have jobs. You know, we try to do some promotion and different stuff like that, sell T-shirts. We getting into the hat sale. The website is being redesigned, so they took it down. But we getting into, you know, selling different Baltimore Ram products. Our colors are black and silver, like the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
You know, so once we get rid of the products with the mugs and all that different stuff. We travel from Baltimore to North Carolina, everywhere in between, and then from Baltimore to New York City, everywhere in between.
Okay.
You know? And like I say, I have players that even go to Las Vegas every year and compete on a national level.
Now, do any of those players that compete at that national level, are they being seen sometimes by agents from the NFL, CFL?
Absolutely. They get seen by guys from the NFL and the Arena Football League, as well as international football.
Okay.
Because people don't understand that football is played international. You could go to Brazil. You know, we was introduced to a team in Nairobi, Kenya, and they say, hey, we want the Baltimore Rams to come over here and play in Nairobi, Kenya. Of course, it's expensive, and you got to take a lot of inoculations. But I think down the road, that'd be something that we'd love to do, you know.
Wow, that's because you would never know. Like, you know, I knew that, you know, Canada. I know that they were trying to experiment with parts of, you know, Europe, but I didn't know that they had football in Brazil.
Yes.
Didn't know they had football in Kenya.
Yes.
Now, you know, like, you know, them boys run, so I don't know how they gonna kill y'all on the wide receiver angle, right?
Let me tell you, And the thing is, they don't have really big linemen that's 6'5", 300 pounds, you know. But they got some little angry cheaters. You know what I'm saying? That would be something that you don't want to come up against sometimes. You know?
Oh yeah.
But those guys got heart, man. They got incredible heart.
That's cool.
You know.
And then I know you have a game. You was telling us before we got started that you guys, I think August 25th, are gonna be playing a German team, right?
August the 25th. I'm also the co-founder. I'm also the founder of the Big East All-Star team.
Okay.
And the Big East All-Star team consists of players from New Jersey, between New Jersey and Richmond, Virginia, and it's an all-star team. And I also coaches the national team over in Las Vegas. But the all-star team would be playing your actual DC national all-stars. They're right here from DC. And the Baltimore Rams will be playing Germany.
Oh, wow.
In Baltimore, August 25th.
That's going to be cool. Now, we were talking about how, these young men, they're helped through the game and stuff. Do you feel like sometimes when you pull them together, does it help kind of like change what the environment is like? Yeah, they got to go back home to wherever they're at, but maybe just developing friends there that they could call on now.
Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you something, man. The most positive thing that I see a lot of these guys, man, these guys will change you. Wow. And how you approach situations and stuff. Because sometimes I had to be actually checked by my players. Because, man, it could get vulgar out there. When you coaching and you living life and you're doing so much and you want to give them so much that sometimes you become, you get above yourself. And you get to an angry factor like, didn't I tell you to run the ball this way? And they be like, Coach, hold up. Wait a minute. We grown men, Coach. We got you. But, you got to respect us, too. And that humbles you to say, wait a minute, I'm here to help you. How you helping me? Mm-hmm. But it really humbles you. It turns positive. Then when you see that, I'm doing something right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because this little crazy kid, I couldn't keep him under control for nothing. But now he's trying to humble me. I said, I must be, hey, man, if I got a team of 40, 45 players and I'm reaching 2 or 3, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
I'm doing my job.
Now, what are your thoughts on, I know you have young men and some of them don't have jobs. What are your thoughts on young men who play football and they're not compensated? Because as we know, football is basically a job in college and what so have you.
In the colleges, let me tell you something. And I've always believed. I played for the University of South Carolina. I'm a Gamecock.
Okay.
Just let you know.
Okay.
But the amount of money that these colleges are making off of these kids, and these kids, education is free because the government guarantees you that. But the amount of money that they making off of these kids, and these kids are actually sacrificing. When you play the game of football, you're sacrificing your life.
Yeah.
Because in that split second, your life can change forever. Severed spine, anything. It can change forever. Those kids should be compensated for what they did. Now, they're not professionals yet. So they shouldn't get professional pay until they're taught how to be professional. Mm-hmm. See, the difference between my guys and professional athletes, it's not the money. The difference between my guys and professional athletes is how they act.
Or at least how they're supposed to act.
Professionals act professional. Mm-hmm. See the difference? Mm-hmm. That's the only thing different. Because I could pay you $5 a game, but that don't make you a professional. Mm-hmm. You got guys in the NFL who get paid millions, but you see they still are getting into the innocuous things that they shouldn't be even involved in.
That's true.
So it's the attitude. But these guys need to be compensated. They need to be paid in college. College should make billions.
You got coaches out here like literally making $6-something million a year, and and then the kids are getting in trouble because they take a dinner to Ruth Chris. But meanwhile, your school is building $30 million sports facilities on the backs of the work you put out to get them to the championship over and over again. So yeah, they definitely should be compensated.
It's a form of slavery.
I agree with that.
It's a form of slavery.
Yeah.
You go out there and perform to the top and the best of your ability to have your jersey marquee at Alabama or Clemson or wherever, and then you got a coach making $10 million a season. And you get in trouble because your friend buys you a pair of Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Jameis Winston got in trouble because he took some free crab legs.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
And who's not gonna want you? And if you're doing that well, I mean, I just remember being in school, just being cool or just with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to do stuff for you. So you can imagine that if you're a star football player at a university like that, who ain't gonna want to be like, hey man, a drink on me, some food on me. And then that's a problem when you do it.
But let's talk about the statistics and what really goes down, though. The fact of the matter is these guys play football. They barely had time for their studies. They were passed on from grade school all the way up to get to college. Half of them can't even read well, I don't want to say half, but there are some that really can't read or not really at performance level for college. And then only a small percentage actually makes it to the NFL. So then thereafter college, what are they supposed to do? They can't finish their degrees up because now that football is done, teachers are not going to be prone to pass you. There's no incentive there anymore.
Right.
So what suggestions do you have for young men that are aspiring to be in the NFL to get them to think about the big picture? Because the NFL ticket is not a guarantee.
Right. Well, my thing is aspire to be an asset to yourself, your family, and your community.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the NFL or the NBA is good. It's wonderful. But it's no guarantee. Because the NBA and the NFL only have a certain amount of jobs.
That's true.
And they may screen 150 applicants in the NFL. I go to NFL combines all the time. Right? It's about 600 athletes there in 1 week. It's only about 10 jobs in the NFL, believe it or not.
Wow, you think it's more than that?
You mean per season?
But when you look at the
Per
contracts that are in the NFL, most players, if they're not signing 1 year contracts, they're signing 2-3 year contracts. And these contracts, you got to get bonuses. You got to get paid. Which means if I sign a contract that says, I'm going to be with your team for 3 years, you're going to pay me $12 million. That's $4 million a year. And arbitrarily, you can trade me after the first year, but you have to trade me. That means somebody has to pay for that contract, right? They don't have no job for nobody else because they got $8 million that they still have to pay this individual. So they may recruit you and say, yeah, well, let's get 50 guys in here to find 2 linemen.
Wow.
That's how it is. Same thing with the NBA. Why do you think the NBA is now having these off seasons where they sending these kids and having these college, tournaments? They sending these kids down here so that these kids can get their exposure. They going to other countries. Same thing with the NFL. There's not a lot of jobs. So what I tell her, hey, you perform to your best of your ability, but you have to get that education.
Yeah.
But that's what's going to save you. And sorry, but the problem is we're not educating our children good enough to compete at the college or at the pro level.
Wow.
Now let's switch gears here and let's talk about some of the risks that can happen while playing football. I know the movie Concussion was a big movie with Will Smith. Some parents feel that their kids shouldn't play football because they're too scared of what could happen. What are your thoughts on football and protecting one's head and mental health?
Let me tell you, that's a very, very, very important issue because me personally, being a coach, being an ex-athlete, I've suffered with concussions, and I don't believe that children below the age of 13 should be playing contact football because of developmental stages of their bodies. Concussions are dangerous. They're life-changing. They're life-altering. As you know, like Junior Seau one of the nastiest linebackers in the NFL. He blew his brains out because of so many concussions.
Yeah.
And this is not something that just happened. You know, they going all the way back now with guys in high school, you know, at the kiddie league level, and finding out that these kids are getting injured at an early age, 7, 8 years old, and we're overlooking it. And there's a lot of coaches out there that's saying, "Oh, man, it's he just got dinged up. That's about it." No, he's a child. He's a baby. You have to look at that and say he's not developing good enough for his brain. You know what I mean? To take that kind of pounding and recover from it.
Yep.
That's why our kids are affected in school with learning. They have learning disabilities because we have a lot of inexperienced people. I'm a paramedic. So we have a lot of inexperienced people out there that's coaching and looking at these kids, and they rocking helmets back and forth because it sounds good. They don't care. We need to start caring more.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, we need to become more and more involved. If you got your child out there, well, I feel sorry for you because there's some things that's going to happen. Your child could not be affected now, but by the time they get into 12th, 11th grade, 12th grade, you're going to realize that those 2 concussions he had when that coach said it was a ding, that's affecting his brain right now.
And I think, like, it's crazy because with that, I feel like the focus is shifted. And I'm happy that you brought out, like, you know, how rare it is to actually get into the NFL. You know, I think a lot of people don't realize that. I didn't even realize that there's only, like, maybe 10 jobs available a year, because I'm thinking, like, well, maybe there's, like, maybe 10 jobs available per team. Can you think they're just getting rid of people like that? But
well,
then
yeah, that's per team. But as quick as they move in, them out.
That's true. Because that, like, you might get on the practice squad.
You
That
got
doesn't
12
mean that you
15 people on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Are you
They
getting
ain't
paid
got no room for you.
on the practice squad?
Who?
Are you getting paid when you NFL
yeah,
practice
you get
squad?
paid.
Okay, I was just
You get
wondering.
paid.
Okay.
The average player on the practice squad may make $150,000. One of the lowest paid players in the NFL will make $425,000 to $450,000. That's at the bottom end, but that's because you're active on the roster. If you're not active on the roster, you're making maybe the minimum of $150,000.
Which is still better than the average job.
No, not when you're a human target.
Yeah, and yeah, like I would imagine, like, the way you're putting the things they're putting their body through, and then $150,000 is a drop in the pond when you got guys spending that. I mean, let's just be honest. You got those guys dropping that in the strip club.
Yeah.
You know, they got $8 million contracts.
Like a Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
That's nothing to him.
They're buying cars that cost 4 times that.
$100,000 in body tap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He probably dropped that in like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that.
And then the thing is, so you have these $150,000 practice squad players trying to kick it with a $7 million, wide receiver.
The insurance, they got to pay a lot of insurance.
Oh yeah, I imagine their insurance premium's a little higher.
Very high.
Oh, okay.
On the average, they pay anywhere from $35,000 to $50,000 a season for insurance. That's why when you see a player say, "Let me sit out on this contract," my insurance done went up $100,000 because I had that torn Achilles last season. Ask Terrell Suggs how much he had to pay in premiums.
Is that you think? And I know this is a different sport. Do you? Is that why maybe like the Kawhi Leonards of the world or people like Derrick Rose probably set out like they do? Like we're mad because it's like, well, the coach cleared you, so what are you doing?
When you get those injuries, see, it's like this. It's modified slavery. You're made to play, but when you get those type of injuries, your bank has to go up. Because now, remember, you just had to pay, $350,000 for an Achilles or an ACL surgery that will get you back out on the floor. That ain't cheap.
I wonder if this is why Russell Wilson went to play baseball. But my question to you and to even Juan, what do you think? I don't think if we change the game of football, meaning like not necessarily change it where the sport is no longer football, but change the amount of contact, I think the sport would still be as entertaining, but I feel like the fans wouldn't like that.
We cannot change the amount of contact. It's impossible.
People play flag football.
Nobody wants to
And
watch flag
how
football.
many people go and see a flag football? You put professional flag football on TV if you want to. Your ratings, you won't have a rating. Because the thrill is this country. This country was built on gladiators, man.
Yeah, they like blood and guts.
Football, it's blood and guts.
Not
you
blood
gotta be
guts.
an Iron Man to come out there and play this sport. But the blessing is, man, it's such a blessing to be able to play this sport. Because when you look at the kids that's in wheelchairs, or the people that's mentally ill, that can't perform at the level when you see these guys that's 6'5", 305 pounds running a 4.8 40. That's power. That's athleticism, And when he hits somebody and just decapitate them on the field, that's like, oh my God, that's like one of the best feelings that I've never got hit like that. But
it's one of the best feelings. Hitting someone like that is probably the best feeling. Not getting hit like that.
So what do you think of this is going a little off topic, but what do you think about somebody like a Usain Bolt? He's tall and he's fast. Can you imagine him on the football field?
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, people ask that question all the
You gotta
time.
be a gladiator. He's a runner.
Okay.
LeBron thought he could get out there.
He was good in high school, though.
That's high school. We talking about pros or collegiate level. That's high school. Let me tell you something. They are gladiators. They're not going to let you play another sport. You're not going to be a basketball player and think you're going to step on my field. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go step on your court. So if you step on this field, I don't care how fast you is. When you put them helmet and shoulder pads on,
you get hit.
You getting hit. Somebody gonna catch you. You ain't faster than light. Somebody gonna catch you. He quick. But you ever seen that movie, The Quick and the Dead? Mm-hmm. That's what he'd be.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, because it is something to it. Like my brothers, they play football. Shout out to Rich and Nathaniel. They actually coach and stuff out there in Tennessee. And I mean, I just see the way they work with these young men. It's amazing. And I was looking. So I think about. I've been at their games, and I see how they respond to the young men, and they do it with a lot of care and a lot of love, and a lot of genuine respect. You talked about respect earlier about the young man and what he said to you about that conversation. And I know, Kat, you've been a fan of the
Snoop Dogg show. I watched the show. Yeah. I got to catch up on it. It's just interesting because I didn't know that there wasn't a lot of travel football teams. So Snoop Dogg has, I cannot remember the name of the rapper, but he's one of the coaches, and he just cusses the kids out. But I also saw that Snoop Dogg gave one of the kids' mothers money for rent because they were getting ready to get evicted, and some of the Latino young men on his team, their fathers used to be involved in drugs and gangs affiliation. So I see that it is transformative in that the kids are, they have hope in this football program. But the way they talk to them kids, I'm like,
And that's what I want to talk about, like the way they, and then not just them. I've seen it, in other places where they just talk to these kids, like real reckless,
like cussing them clean out.
I mean, cussing them out. I'm talking about like I was in the Army. I done heard every kind of cussing you can hear from a drill sergeant, and some of the stuff they say to them will make a drill sergeant blush. And I'm like, it seems extreme to me. But you've been around that world. I mean, you're a Gamecock. You've been around the world of football for a long time. What are your thoughts on that excessive coaching style? No need for it.
There's no need. We're here to help. And you don't help somebody by putting them down. You correct the wrong. And you don't have to cuss and call them out of their name. Although I do these grown men like that sometimes because they get you to that point. They grown. But we're talking about a child who's underdeveloped, number one. We have to develop him. And you don't develop him, by doing that yelling, screaming, cussing. The terminology of hurt people. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what you learned. And you can imagine how you felt back then. Well, you magnify that times 10. That's how that child feels. Mm-hmm. You're taking the very thing that they love to do, and you're making it about you, and not about that child. You're making it about the child, and his development. There's too much, it's unnecessary cussing that these coaches do. They're kids, they're babies. I fear, like when my son now, he'll tell you, my son is 6'6", over 370 pounds, and
that's a big guy.
My son, I'm like, I feel like choking him. half the time, you know, but I still love him as my son. I allow him to make his mistakes. I talk to him, you know. I sometimes will riff at him, but to cuss him out, nah. I'm going to let you make your mistakes. Because later you're going to come back and you're going to say, well, Dad, I should have did it this way or that way. You know, that's how you groom them as athletes. You know, make the work harder for them. You don't make yourself harder for them. You know?
I like that. Yeah, because a lot of people...
push-up.
Oh yeah. Like, definitely challenge them. But I do like the fact that that we're here to develop them. And then I think a lot of times we don't think about. We can think about the physical nature of a 12, 13-year-old, 9-year-old boy, but then we don't think about the mental development of that same child. And can that 9-year-old, can that 10-year-old handle, a grown man, 34, 36 years old, cussing them slick out like that? Can they really? And then sometimes, especially if you're working with these young people who may come from rough environments, do they need even more of that?
Exactly.
If they're already getting it at home because the parents don't know any better sometimes.
I literally stopped a football game. I was just there to watch the game, but I literally walked on that field and cussed the coach out. Don't you ever in your living life yell and scream. And then I think the thing that ticked me off the most is he grabbed that kid.
Oh, wow.
You don't put your hands on a child.
No.
And these kids are only 9 to 11 years old. You don't put your hand on a child, yell and scream at him, smack him in his helmet. What is wrong with you?
But see, think about what that also implies, because as a child, how you're going to register that is that when I'm upset, when you don't do what I tell you to do, I have the right to hit, cuss, scream, and yell. And then it becomes in relationships when they're with women or with other people, when they're mad at somebody, they're like, well, when I was a kid, I remember my coach or my mom or whoever would hit me when they was mad, and they think that's acceptable.
And then they wonder why football players are dragging their girlfriends out of an elevator. Where did that come from? Everybody's shocked. Where did we create this problem? And then sometimes it ain't the black fathers. Sometimes it's these coaches
or mamas,
and they're creating this this thing where you slap around the kid. And I don't think we think about the little things that are compounded. And then when they start coming out, and this 22-year-old, this 27-year-old, and we're wondering, like, where did this come from? Well, it's been ingrained in them from 9-year-old or younger.
Yeah, younger. Well, then we already come from impoverished communities, in a impoverished situation, and half of the parents that take their kids, they just want them to be babysit.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the discipline of football and how that can transform someone's mindset. I also want to talk to you about health. Because I hear that a lot of football players or athletes in general, they understand football, they're very athletic, but they don't necessarily know anything about health and diet. Does your program go over things of that nature, of nutrition and
what I've started, and as of this season, I have dietitians that will come in and talk to the individuals about nutrition and what you should put in your body and what you should put in your system. It's a high physical, aspect to this sport, and you have to know how to take care of your body as much as you take care of your mind, and I'm going to have counselors come in and talk to these guys. One of the guys that actually used to be a running back, he played football. He's a psychotherapist. He's a counselor. And he can relate to what these guys are with football. So it's very, very important that they get the nutritious factors, about how to eat to live, and not live to eat. Because they look at what people don't know. They look at these offensive linemen, and these offensive linemen are huge dudes. But what you don't realize is they get that big for the season. The off season, they don't eat like they did. So the season prepared, I'm going to eat a pound of pasta.
A pound of pasta? Yeah. 1 pound?
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, I seen what LeBron James eats, and he's lean.
A pound of pasta.
So I mean, I imagine to get big, like
eat a whole chicken.
But are they lifting? I feel like they just be big, just to be big.
You gotta understand, when you're on that field, you're burning. You're burning. it's not so much of how you putting it in your system, but it's how you getting it out of your system. Because they can put a pound of pasta in, honey, and burn that in one practice.
I guess if they going hard like that. I mean, I've heard about some of the practices, so I can imagine.
Yeah, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I've seen it just from a physical standpoint. When you look at NFL players, when they retire, the vast majority of them are huge. And then even NBA players, when you talk to them, even like Charles Bryant, Charles Barkley, it was him and Shaq, and they were talking about how they didn't learn about nutrition until like now.
Right.
Because they were saying that when they was in their prime, they would literally eat McDonald's. And these are like NFL players and, basketball players. They would eat whatever they want. Shaq's talking about he ate like 20 pancakes. No big deal. And he's like, now that I'm older, I realize there is an importance to understanding health and nutrition.
Diabetes.
And LeBron, he gets it. He's in optimal shape all year round.
And then because he's eating like 3,000 calorie plus meals, but I seen his plate too. You're talking like broccoli, brown rice. He'll have like, healthy, piece of steak, something like that. It's good food. Right. And I think a lot of these guys, I think, is just trying to maybe transition that intake from, I guess, like you said, the McDonald's, the pancakes, a bucket of KFC to, all right, maybe a roasted chicken.
Yep.
Some broccoli or like, potatoes, healthy potatoes versus, something with a lot of, unhealthy things in it.
So when I played at 265, 270. When I stopped playing football, I gained about 100 pounds.
Wow.
Because there was nobody there to teach me about nutrition. I eat like crazy, but I perform magnificent. But as you get older, that metabolism say, hey, you can't do this no more. Mm-hmm. So you stop.
And you probably don't have the activity to go with it.
Right,
either.
And you keep eating like that because it's good to you.
Yeah, and you like, this tastes good.
Yeah, but then you sit there one day and you can't see your feet. You look down your stomach. You done gone too far. But see, that's the thing, and that's the thing that I'm interested in doing with my team, and I'm showing them, I'm having the nutritionists come in, break down the diet, calorie counts, and all that different stuff, so they can take that back to their homes and say, "Oh, wait a minute, we love steak, but hey, when you eat too much of it, this is what can happen." You don't understand that piece of steak is in your system for the next month.
Wow. We have a nutritionist that we've had on this show, Janine Ford, Ford Wellness Group. Mm-hmm. We might connect you with her too, because that's what she is. She's a nutritionist.
Awesome.
And she's amazing. She's
wonderful.
She puts together some great plans. Yeah, so we'll have to put you in touch with her. I think because we don't have that much time left, but I do want to talk about your military and EMS academy.
Yes. It's called Baltimore Rams Military and EMS Academy.
Yeah, so how long has that been around, that leg of it?
Well, that's just started, and actually that was just introduced to the members of Baltimore City public school system.
Nice.
And I'm waiting to get an answer. The application's been put in for charter and everything. I really want to do it private, but I don't think it's enough of us in a private entity that will fund that as much.
Okay.
So I have to go the charter way. Once I could find that entity, then we'll cut it. But the Baltimore Rams Military EMS Academy is a boarding school. It's a 501c3. It's a boarding school.
Okay.
And what it is, it teaches our kids on a AP level to prepare our kids for college, as well as blue collar career. And it's a military-based school. It teaches military science, your regular English and math, but it excels to a higher level. A B is, you got to get a 94 or better to get a B. We're not accepting 60s no more because we are above 60.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
We're not stupid.
Yeah, so this is cool. So he really got his stuff together. He brought us like the snippets of the program. And I was looking up here because I was looking at your grading system. I was like, man, like, their grading system, like, because I remember, I think an A was anything a 90 and above. And then you had it, I was trying to find it in here real quick. You probably know exactly where it is. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, there it is, right? So a A was a 94 to 100, a B 87 to 93, C 80 to 86, a D is 73 to 79, 72 and below
is the F.
Whereas in a lot of school systems or structures are 70 and above
is a C.
Is a C. And so not only are you passing, but you're doing all right. You know, so
I accepted that no more.
He doesn't want average to be considered average. You got to be good, better than average.
Our children are above average.
Oh, definitely. And I know from experience that when you set the bar high, and it's not saying that, you know, if you miss it, you treat them like the scum of the earth. But when you set the bar high, when you make kids achieve towards excellence, and when they go towards that, even if you aim for the stars, you end up on the mountaintop. And the mountaintop is still a very high elevation. So I like the fact you're doing that. I was flipping through there, and I was looking at some of this course study and everything you have. Yeah. I think it would be great. And then you had a pretty stringent schedule too. It looks like you have them getting up in the morning.
Oh yeah, they get up every morning at 5 a.m. Like we did in the Army.
Yeah.
We did before 6 a.m. We did what most people did all day.
Yep.
That's what they do. They get up at 5 a.m. They do PT every morning.
Okay, so for an hour.
Yeah.
And then, because I saw in your program, you'll have them getting up at 5 in the morning, a little bit of personal hygiene time, and then they work out.
They don't need much to, shave and bathe. But
you got them sleep by 9 o'clock.
9.
Lights out.
Nights out.
And this is gonna be boys and girls, or just boys?
Just boys.
Okay.
Just boys. It's for all males, because I feel like that we have to correct our boys.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we want good women, we must have good kings.
Can you explain what you mean when you say we have to correct our boys? Why do we need to correct our boys?
Because our boys are leaders. They are leaders in kingdoms. They are leaders. And if we don't raise leaders, we have a bunch of followers. And what I mean is that they will fall by the wayside because they don't have a sense of being themselves. They will just be led into damnation. We have to stop that. We have to teach them, just like the sisters. We have to teach our young president, hey, look, you're kings. You're from tribes of kings and queens. This is not how you conduct yourself. Let me help you.
And I do like that because Urban Prep has had a lot of success with that out of Chicago.
Yeah.
And I think they've been having 100% graduation rate over the last one.
Urban, no, I'm getting confused. There's another school. What's the white guy's name in Atlanta?
Oh, I don't know. That's him. I'm talking about the all-black school.
The all-black school. Okay, the all-black school.
Because we need to teach us. See, the problem with the system is we have allowed the very people, let me just say, we've allowed the very people that hate us educate our children. Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that. It's enough of us out here who are educated and streamlined and made of it that we need to educate our own children. We know what's wrong with them.
Now, with your program, I guess you're going to be looking to hire on, more people of color, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking to hire not only people of color, but people who are dynamic when it comes to instruction.
I like that.
I like that, dynamic.
So it has nothing to do with color, really. But our kids will associate greatness with our color. Because throughout history, they haven't been shown the greatness that comes from our color. Mm-hmm. When they look at these magazines and the books, they don't see our color. They see, they don't know who Scipio Africanus is. Mm-hmm. They don't know who that is. They don't know that's where that word Africa came from. You see what I'm saying? But they don't associate greatness with color. But it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, will this school be application only?
This school would definitely be recruiting and applications.
How many boys are you planning to accept?
At one time, we had it at 275. We have thus cut it down to 100 every 3 years. So that's how exclusive this is going to be.
Wow. Okay, it's going to be a tight coordinate.
Very tight. And not only that, we teaching military science, which will open up the military doors. Mm-hmm. We're teaching emergency medical services. Everybody need to know how to put on a Band-Aid, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or even a tourniquet. I mean, in the world we live in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's a basic thing. You can make a tourniquet out of anything. We're both, Army medics background. Yeah.
Exactly. So. And they learning something blue collar called HVAC.
And that's a big one.
And they learning all of this at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time they graduate, you can graduate as a paramedic out of high school and make $45,000 a year at 18 years old.
And if you get your
Have y'all ever
EMTP,
did
you can
that?
make it like 60, 65.
Yeah.
And you don't need
Your
any
paramedic.
college.
Yeah. And that's just start at 18. But if you notice, on the weekends, I have different seminars.
Mm-hmm.
On the weekends, like Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, we have seminars.
I like the fact that you had driver's education, because I
Yeah.
can't stand drivers out here.
Yeah.
But then, but more important than any of those, financial.
Finance.
I like
school,
that.
The school system don't teach you about
They
money.
don't teach you about money.
College doesn't teach you about money.
And college don't teach you about it. You have to take a course about finance. This is something basic that our kids should know.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, how to save your money, how to invest your money. You know, your health and wellness. That's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids are going to know that coming out of this school.
I like that.
You know, I can't put you out 18 years old making $40,000, $50,000 a year and not know how to spend it.
Mm-hmm.
And not know how to invest it. You know? Yes. Sundays, you know, if it's by choice. You can have some spiritual cheating, you know that. By choice. I'm not pushing, like you said, religion. We're not pushing religion on.
Okay.
But if it's something
just
that you
pushing
want to,
skills, huh?
yeah, if it's something that you do, you stick around for it. If not, you got the whole day to do whatever. But that's the only day.
I like this. I hope that I hope that this gets all the attention it needs. We had recently on Kelly Fox,
Yep.
who's running for the 43rd district there out of Baltimore City. And one thing that I like that we learned about that is he's going to be running for state delegate. And people don't know that the state delegates are the people that pretty much fund those budgets for things like this.
Right.
So, you know, I think that's the importance of voting. I always got to throw that out there. And that's why we have to vote. That's why we need people like Kelly Fox. I think that's someone we'll have to connect you with, because these are the kind of people from because he's from the 43rd district, born and raised, went to school there, all of that. And these are the kind of people that I believe would vote in these kind of initiatives and these kind of charter schools. And this is the kind of stuff we have to make happen for our community. And I'm really excited about this program because we don't focus on EMS skills, but that job ain't going anywhere.
It's not.
As long as we have people, we were just at a rock climbing event, somebody fell and broke his arm. So as long as people are good, as long as we have human bodies, you know, this ain't Altered Carbon, a fictional show where we got sleeves, we got real bodies, and therefore we're gonna need real people to operate and work on and care for real bodies. So I was really impressed by the EMS practice, and then the military skills. A lot of people don't even realize the opportunity in the military. For one, you have healthcare, which in this country, healthcare is really in limbo as far as where that don't come from. But one thing I always have been able to say is I got two forms of healthcare. I always got whatever my job is offering me, but then I also get what the military gives me automatically because I'm a vet and I'm a disabled vet. Right? So I got that healthcare coming in. Also, housing. The VA loan system is an amazing, just making us homeowners and what that does for your bottom line and just setting up your wealth and building something for a family behind you. That's amazing, and people slip on that. And there's a lot of folks out here making six figures that have no college education, but they have a military background. So they don't have the debt, and if they want to get the education, they can get that debt free, or not with the same amount of loans that some have to take on. Because student loans, I have plenty of friends, they're getting killed by student loans.
Most importantly.
Cat, like that's me.
That's me.
It's like student loans.
I've never had to have though.
I was good for undergrad, but grad school took me all the way over.
But you know, the system is telling you that in order to make six figures or to make decent money,
It's a business.
Of course, but I know people out there who are EMTPs out in Texas, like San Antonio and all that, making $70,000, $80,000. Yeah, that's where I trained. Yeah.
I think we need to shift our minds though into owning stuff. I mean, and I don't know why. But I don't know if you know this, but if you look at like any Subway franchise or Baskin Robbins, a lot of Indians own it. And I talk to them, and they're just like, we came here with the mindset knowing we're going to own. Like, we're going to own businesses.
And they look into
and they give it to their kids. Yeah. They don't go to college and stuff. They're looking at us like, I don't know what you're talking about.
The city of Detroit is selling off property like I don't know what.
And Baltimore.
And Baltimore.
And Baltimore.
Baltimore giving houses away.
Man, let me tell you something. I got my money. I'm already on it. I'm on it.
Yeah, you got to.
I am on it. I'm looking at multi dwellings and everything. I'm on it. The main thing though is the discipline.
And it starts there, and I like
where
that.
It starts at the discipline.
You know what? We really enjoy having you on the show. We're pretty much out of time, but Xavier, we really appreciate you being on the show, sir.
My pleasure.
I love what you're doing with those young boys. Keep on doing it.
Yes, sir.
If there's any way the Nitty Gritty can help, we'll introduce you to Jonine. We'll introduce you to Kelly Fox. I think these are people that can help champion various parts of your vision, and I know that they're very passionate about our community as well. And we'll be out there to watch you guys play Germany. I think that's gonna be pretty exciting.
We'll have a media day that Friday.
Okay.
So you guys are welcome to come and set up, interview the guys from Baltimore Rams, interview the guys from the national team, interview from Germany. Welcome. We have a big space set up for you guys.
Do you have any social media where people can follow you right now?
Yeah, we have our Facebook page, but the Baltimore Rams football page should be up by the end of this week.
All right, that's what's up. And then, Kat, tell them where they can follow the Nitty Gritty Show.
Yes, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Nitty Gritty Show.
So, look.
And YouTube.
Look, it's been a great show. Xavier, thanks for coming on again. I'm happy to hear about what you're doing with the Baltimore Rams. And then I'm excited about your charter school being opened up, and we claim it now.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be a thing. That's coming into place.
Yes, sir.
And just excited to have you. But look, it's been another great show. It's your boy, Jay DeCosta.
It's your girl, Katniss.
Together we are
The Nitty Gritty.
Look, excited about this. Everybody knows that the Cavs is the greatest team. No, I'm just talking trash. LeBron is the GOAT. I'm just talking trash again. But look, great show. Jay, sign us out. And everyone out here, y'all be blessed.